Okay, Mr. Gomez.
Well, first of all, the reason why I didn't talk to her, she had an unlisted telephone number, so I couldn't get it. And she wouldn't give me the number, so I couldn't do that. And the only thing that I feel I'm guilty of is loving her mother. I love my Carmen tremendously. She loved me 10 times more than I loved her.
It says here in the papers that you lent her money to start a business.
Yes, I did.
Some kind of beauty?
It was a facial business. She wanted, see, as far as money is concerned, I had no problem with that, especially with her. When after a year that I met her, her mother died in Malta. She had no way to get there. So it was costing me about $2,000 I sent her over there because she was heartbroken. I mean, just here's her mother. She loved her mother dearly, and she had no way to get there.
So you gave her the money to
I gave her the money. I didn't ask for it back.
Okay.
And then when she came back, she asked me that, I told her to come back and we'll live together, and she asked me if I could help her start a business. I said, what's it going to be? So she told me. I said, fine. So I went up to, I borrowed the money from our savings. I said to her, we were going to get married, so I said, well, I'd like for you to pay it back, and I was also paying into it, paying 3 times more than she was in a month. And I said, because it's for our retirement, and she said, it's fine. This is all it's going to be for. That's why I wanted her to pay back while we could. Was
she working at the time, too?
She was doing, yes, a little bit. She was working somewhat. I never kept track of what she made or anything like that.
Okay. So
I have a log that says that she was paying me, too. She's paying, you know, every month.
Towards the equipment?
For the equipment.
And you ultimately sold the equipment according to your papers at a loss?
Which was, yes. When you sell things out of a garage, they don't give you anything for it from that on.
So how much did you lose dollar-wise?
How much did I lose? About $3,000 or something.
That's what it said here, that the equipment was $6,000, you'd paid about $3,000 off. You have any reason to doubt that?
No, we didn't mess with it with my mother's equipment. We know that he had signed for it, but she was paying him every month.
Okay. And it also says here, Mr. Gomez, that you and the plaintiff and another brother split the cost for the funeral expenses.
Is
that right?
Yes, it is.
Is that true? You know, technically, by law, Mr. Gomez has no responsibility to contribute to those funeral expenses. You know that. I assume he did it because he loved your mother. What I'm trying to tell you is, from his answer, it doesn't sound as if he's a bad guy. Would you agree with that, too?
I have an opinion, but I don't know if it counts. It's just that even though he put in his share into the business with my mom, she has done her part. Contribution towards the home that they lived in, contribution towards the business she built.
Well, just a sec. What he's saying is he took out a loan for the equipment.
Yes, I understand that, but the loan came from her, too.
I know, but so much of it hadn't been paid back that he's now responsible.
We haven't seen that. We don't know what that is.
I believe that that's true, sir. I believe that that's true. It's my job to determine whether somebody is a credible witness. Yes, sir.
One more question I have. If he would have, many times as I try to meet with him, breakfast, meetings, and whatever, if he would have just brought out the paperwork, I didn't want him to go alone on this. The same way I accepted him to help me in the funeral, the same way I accepted his beliefs, what my mom wanted for her funeral. The same thing, I did everything for the picture when he took it out of my house on the evening when we had family in my house.
From my mother.
That is the only picture I had in front of the flowers to show the people who she was. He had to take it the same night. It's just, and I was nice, I let him go with it. I mean, there was
You mean this was his photo, just a second. This was his photograph of your mother.
This is mine.
Just a second. This was his photograph of your mother.
Yes, but it's our frame.
I know.
You weren't interested in the frame. You were interested in the photograph.
Actually, we are, Your Honor. We are. That's a momentum that's been going on through our family.
He'll give you back the frame if it's your frame. What you were upset about, what your brother says you were upset about, was the photograph. So you had the photograph displayed.
The way he did it, Your Honor.
Listen to me.
In front of all my family.
You had the photograph.
Grabbed it by the hand and walked out like no respect. Didn't even come to ask me.